Okay, let's try this again. Okay, sorry that last one, the last video I put up about this. Yeah, I forgot to have my mic up. It always helps to have your mic on when you're trying to do a video so people can hear you. The video I want to do today is talking about the hysteria for full-blown martial law. If this could turn into, with the hysteria we're seeing, could turn into full-blown martial law. I'm going to make this quicker than I did the last time anyway, so I wasn't necessarily in love with my video the last time. Make sure you guys subscribe to me on DLive and also on Parler at SJG Perspective, and like and share this video. Basically, in this article that I wanted to read, it just simply talks about the potential for us to lead into full-blown martial law. I know everyone's like, don't get your panties in a wad just because you see National Guard. It's not a big deal. We're going to be okay. Da-da-da-da-da. They're just here to help. And I'm not saying that they aren't. And I'm not saying we are going to go into full martial law. My point in reading this, and I'm just going to read a few clips of this article. You guys can find it. I'll put this in the description of this when I upload it, is the fact that we are never at least in my lifetime, I don't think we've ever been closer in the sense of it being able to quickly burst into that. In the sense of food shortages, if that happens, with the stimulus package rolling out, if we don't recover as quickly as President Trump is saying we're going to, if it doesn't bounce back, then the propensity for that to happen is all set and in play. If you watched my video last night where I talk about Granite Shadow, or Operation Granite Shadow, where they have the continuity of government in place right now in case in case it breaks down into civil unrest, in case we find out that this virus is worse than it is. I don't think we're being told the truth on it. Maybe it is just as bad as the flu. Maybe it's not. Maybe if it isn't that big of a deal, then this is completely just for show and completely an exercise, and they're completely doing this to rob us of civil liberties, which is obviously happening. If it is worse, they're not telling us the truth, and they're just taking these extreme measures because they don't want to induce the panic until they have everything in place to cordon it off or control it. And so what we're seeing happen right now, and we're in this deep breath moment in the United States, worldwide, but especially the United States is in this deep breath moment where we're kind of over panicking, right? And which is normally what we do when something happens. But we are in this panic mode of we haven't exhaled yet, and we don't know what's coming on the other end of that exhale. I know the markets are bouncing back allegedly right now, and that's good. Allegedly, they're bouncing back. It seems like they are, but I'm not convinced that in the next few days to a few weeks we could see another market drop in the stock market. And when this surge really starts to hit, this wave of sickness and infections start to hit, we may not see some serious pandemonium in the streets, which could lead to, if our cops start getting sick, the cops start getting overwhelmed, this could lead to a position where, at least in some of these major cities, we see a crackdown, and the local government's being subsidized and being helped by the federal government and by the military in quelling these uprisings. And again, I'm not saying that is going to happen, but I'm saying if there was ever a time for it to happen, we're set up for it right now. Amid rumors of national lockdown and the National Guard are already activated in states across the country, rumors are rife of the land of the free will soon be cordoned off behind Iron Curtain of martial law. Pentagon officials announced Friday it is drafting plans to take over hotels, college campuses, sport facilities, and other buildings if necessary to help hospitals. I'm just going to read some of the highlights there. Boots are already on the ground in neighborhoods across the nation, as 3,300 Air National Guardsmen have been called up to some 30 states and U.S. territories, including California and New York. And in Baltimore, meanwhile, the scene was reminiscent of Hurricane Katrina, when thousands of people were forced to seek shelter inside the Louisiana Superdome, as rows of National Guard Humvees were lined up outside these empty stadiums. We keep reading down here. If you want to establish a framework of martial law, which is an ultimate authority in enforcement, we have the capacity to do that. But we are feeling at this moment that it is but we are not feeling at this moment that it is a necessity. This is what Governor Gavin Newsom said at his presser here a little while ago. He said, at this moment, we don't think we're going to need the marshal or the military to help with law enforcement activities. But we're putting them all in place, and they're doing it as a slow rollout because And that makes sense. They wouldn't want to just spring it on us. They want to roll it out. Hey, we're going to give you hey, we're not going to let them shut off your electricity. Hey, we're not going to let them kick you out of your place. Hey, we're going to give you a stimulus package. Hey, these these National Guard are just coming out to help you deliver vaccines or take tests and to build infrastructure and, hospitals and so on and so forth. Hey, it's all okay. It's all okay. As this goes on in the next couple of weeks, as this rolls out more, we're in that window where we're going to see what's going to happen. Are people going to lose their shit and start storming and raiding places, which is going to lock down on everybody? Or is people going to remain calm and this storm shall pass, and we will just then have to claw back some of the civil liberties that we've been willingly giving up because we don't know what the disease is right now, the virus. We don't know how bad it is. The truth of the matter is, like I said before, either they're lying to us and they're not telling us the whole story, or it's not that bad and they're just using this as an exercise, or they're just using this as a planning, and they're just using this as a way to see how we're going to react and how many of our civil liberties we're willingly going to give up. We've already seen somebody in New Jersey get arrested because he broke the law of having 10 or more gathered. And so total violation of constitutional rights on that. But because we're in a state of emergency and because all these things are in play right now, they were able to arrest him, right? We're seeing unprecedented times and things happening, is my point on this. It says, amid ruminations of martial law on the streets of America, there is also talk that Trump, who has not been shy about taking harsh measures to stamp out the spread of the virus, which included a travel ban to 26 European nations, may impose a weeks-long ban on domestic air travel, as well as halt all non-essential business activities, according to a report in the Washington Examiner. Now, this was written a couple days ago, and we've already kind of seen those things play out. Such a move, should it actually come to light, would almost certainly necessitate large-scale military assistance. In other words, the imposition of martial law from sea to shining sea. This would give Trump as commander-in-chief authority over the states and their governors with regards to how to handle not only the coronavirus, but any crime and violence that follows in its wake. More to the point of this article, however, is what is happening on the order and security front. While it is very encouraging to see that the White House is taking major steps to protect average Americans from the economic hardships as a result of COVID-19, the Wuhan flu, there remains the prospect for things getting out of control. With that possibility in mind, it is difficult to understand how some cities and states are actually telling their police to essentially not respond to certain crimes. We've seen that too, where many police departments throughout the country are saying low-level crimes, we're not going to arrest you, we're going to write you a ticket for it, which is in essence giving people a free will to, or a free license to be assholes. We've seen low-level criminals getting released because we don't want them to catch the coronavirus, so we're releasing those people. So our jails and prisons probably more jails, aren't overwhelmed. In Philadelphia, for example, the police department has been instructed its offices to temporarily stop making arrests for certain nonviolent crimes. We've seen that throughout. Spit. Didn't mean to. Including drug offenses, burglary, economic theft, and vandalism, until next month amid the coronavirus outbreak. According to the memo obtained by Philadelphia Inquirer, arresting officers would detain the offender, process the paperwork, and then release the offender back into the general population. The announcement came 24 hours after Philadelphia courts closed until April 1st to limit the spread of the virus. Meanwhile, in the country, Fort Worth, Texas, the police will cease arresting people for low-level crimes, Class C misdemeanors such as thefts involving less than $100 and vandalism. If a citation can be issued in its place, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram reported. So if they can cite you, they will. Now, let's be clear. Sorry, I don't want to read that. None of this bodes well for the future of Main Street USA, which on the one hand faces a loss of basic police protection, and on the other, full-blown boots-on-the-road martial law. America is now at a crossroads with regards to how it addresses the coronavirus pandemic. And although the majority of Americans will probably never get sick from the disease, they may very well lose a large chunk of their civil liberties in the coming fallout. So, all I'm saying is, it's a possibility, and we're at a position that it's the best, that it's more of a probability or possibility than it ever really has been, without taking into account like hurricanes or natural disasters where they're just disclosed in one little location. This is a nationwide rollout we're seeing happen, first off in the major cities. So having said that, I am not sure what I think of this virus yet. I am not sure what I think of how dangerous it is or it isn't. We will know this in the next couple weeks, and South Korea is a good place to keep your eye on because of their transparency, because of their medical system, because of how they've responded to us. We're going to get a real feel from them of how bad this truly, I think, is. I think that's a good place to monitor what's really happening with the virus, is following South Korea. Ultimately, I say yes, you should comply grudgingly to stay in your homes and social distance, and not just willingly say, oh, I'll always do this. We comply grudgingly right now until we really see what's happening. You comply grudgingly so that we don't spread this anymore, because we don't really know how bad it is, but you don't lose grip and you don't lose hope, or you don't lose your grip on your constitutional rights and just willingly throw them aside and just think, oh, it's okay, we're not, and we don't need them. And well, the government will protect us. The government lies to us. They're not going to tell you the truth. They don't tell us the truth. And what we need to do right now is be cognizant of this in our responses and in what we're thinking. So, all right. So there we go. Until next time, it's SJG Perspective. There was my redoing of what I did last time. And I went 11 minutes. I didn't mean to go. Was that 11 minutes? I thought this was going to be quicker than last time. Apparently not. Okay. I will talk to you guys later. Without fear or animus, it's SJG Perspective. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and make sure you like and share this video. Talk to you later. Bye.